RPV TV presents Studio RPV, the Peninsula's local news show with co-hosts Maria Serrao and Liz Brown Swanson.
Hello, and thanks for joining us today on Studio RPV. I'm Maria Serrao.
I'm Liz Brown Swanson.
And I'm Carlos Rivera.
Yes. Now, Carlos, you've seen a few times on the channel. He's our station manager. Carlos covers sports and many other things along the way. Carlos, we all met together. We're talking about our 20th anniversary of RPV TV, but we all met at Cox Communications back in the late 90s and started working together. What was it? Did you ever want to do this, to be on camera, to do, because you started in sports, is that right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't my intention. I don't want to say behind the scenes, it's a shoot and edit. And so when Cox started local news magazine program, Liz said, "You're doing sports."
That's right.
And here I am ever since.
So for our viewing audience watching, you've probably seen our faces for a long time. Like we were saying, we've been doing community television since the 90s, but RPV TV celebrating 20 years.
Yeah, 20
and
years.
It's so great that we're together as a team, like you're saying,
again.
together at Cox. And when Carlos was referencing, so I walked into Cox Communications back in the early 90s because I was a reporter for different network affiliates. I moved back from Boston with my husband who grew up on the Hill, and I didn't want to be an ambulance chaser in Los Angeles. I thought, I want to do local news, and there's nothing like doing news in your community, right? So I walk in Cox Cable, and thankfully the general manager was like, I'm all about this. Let's show what's going on right here on the peninsula.
Yep.
So I started, like you said, doing a program called Pulse of the Peninsula, but I wanted to make it a little more exciting, zhuzh it up a little, get not just news, but we needed sports and weather. So I said, you're my sports guy.
Yeah.
And you rose to the occasion.
Started.
I rose to the occasion. Yeah, I think, you know what it is like, I try, if there's a challenge, you go up to it. So I actually bought books on sports, on the rules of all these sports. I knew nothing about sports, really. I mean, I watched on TV, but yeah, so I started doing a lot of high school sports, and it just blossomed from there. I did.
You know, and it's kind of amazing because we're a very small group, but we all work together. And I always say this is the biggest little city I've ever seen because there's so much going on in the city of Rancho, Palos Verdes all the time.
Yes. So just to bring, again, all of our residents and our viewing audience in, doing the show is very special for me, and it's special for me to be with you too because we've been working together for more than really 3 decades, 2 decades here.
But we're only 21, so
yes,
it's okay.
Yes. Yeah. But, having RPV TV in our city deciding to launch this really as a pilot program.
That's right.
20 years ago, August 27th in 2005, they launched the channel. That council then had the vision to bring local community together, share what's going on, because as we were saying, we worked at Cox, things were changing, the climate was changing because Cox had a franchise agreement with all the cities on the Hill to run that operation. They then didn't need that anymore. They didn't need to provide local content like they were doing for many years. So it really was up to each city to do their content, and RPV did it. They launched their own channel, and here we all are, and we all went from Cox to here, and we just keep growing it.
And Carlos, I always remember you had a saying on your desk. Tell everybody what that said.
Oh, the saying is, no mother will disconnect cable if her child's on TV.
Yes.
And so we got the mother and her child's on the TV.
Yes.
And her 3 sons on TV.
But
yes,
really,
my kids have been on RPV TV.
They
and
sure
Cox.
have, and they're all very good on TV as well. They learned from the best. But what's so interesting to me about when we go out and do a lot of sports locally is we get so many hits on YouTube because then friends give it to friends, give it to relatives, give it to moms, they give it to the aunts and the grandparents, and it is interesting. Everybody wants to see them. They want to see on TV.
They want to see their kids.
They do.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about us, we're small but a mighty station. We're all part-timers here. We all bring something different. Obviously I had my journalism background. I studied it in school. You know everything there is to know about sports. You've been covering all the professional teams in LA
for a long time.
Since you were like a toddler.
Just about.
And Carlos, your production expertise. I mean, you keep bringing the technology here up to speed, and you troubleshoot and you keep us on the air and looking good and state-of-the-art equipment. We try to work with what we have. And
Well, and then when
And
we
sweep the floor if needed.
hey, whatever's needed.
Whatever
And
it takes.
Sometimes we say to Carlos, "Can you please do something on camera?" And Carlos is like, "Okay," but your creativity brings so much.
I
and
try.
no, we do appreciate that for sure.
Is there any story that comes to mind,
Yeah.
like you thought, since you've been here, in our studio running it, that you think about whether it's something you actually were filming or you were actually on air doing
that you could
sticks
tell us
out?
on TV.
I think reconnecting with PV High's drama team.
Yeah.
And Nicole Thompson's the teacher there. And because I used to cover her drama teams back in the Cox days.
Right.
Years and years ago. And it was cool just going back and covering one of her events. And we interviewed all the participants in the particular play. But and then also we got some interns out of that to help us with some PSA. So to me that was pretty cool. Just reconnecting with her because I didn't know if she retired or whatever. She's still there doing it. And they got a great drama team there at PV High.
And Carlos, you also, it's like 6 degrees of separation. That's where you got information about our set.
Right.
When we were researching, things for a new set, Carlos said, they have sets at the high schools, and you inquired, which led us to another step, and here we are.
Yeah, we asked her who built your sets for the high school.
Right.
And she led us to the right guy. He came and
it's amazing.
now look at this.
Here we are.
We've
Yeah.
got a
With
beautiful
ours
set.
help naturally.
That's right.
I mean, we got the PV stone look and the
Everything.
blue from the ocean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do have an amazing set, and as we've grown over the years, we've all together produced, thousands of productions
Stories,
probably.
yes.
I'm looking in the control room, not to boast, but we've won many
Many
awards
awards.
for what we do with a very small staff, and again, all supported by our community and our city
Yes.
council, and we are so grateful that we have that opportunity, right, to tell stories. What about you? I know you're our sports queen.
I mean, really, just so much. And I'm really glad that from the beginning I was asked to go outside of my comfort zone to cover other things,
Right.
whether it be local businesses, many stories. And I think that that's how you sort of push yourself, because where you're comfortable is one thing, and I love covering sports, but to go out and say, okay, this is going on, and doing the research and really falling in love with journalism when,
Right.
my background was in acting. So it was kind of the same, but not exactly, but I have loved every minute of it. So I'm very, very grateful to be here for
Yeah,
sure.
we all wear
Yeah.
many hats, like you were saying.
Yes.
There's the general assignment reporter. You've become that, like you're saying.
Right.
You have stepped up.
Yeah.
I go back to the East Coast in the summers. Therefore, you step in and do the mayor's show, and
Yeah.
it's
I've
people
learned so
think
much.
you have to be on top of what's going on in the
Right.
community and know what's going on, and can't always be about the Rams or your
Unfortunately,
Cowboys.
yes, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Yeah.
So many great stories we could tell you for sure. But we're so glad that Carlos is here today, and we have another special guest coming up next. So thanks for being with us. You're watching Studio RPV, and we will be right back.
Here on the hill, speeding is on the rise.
And speeding kills.
Do you know how speeding starts?
When you're running late and in a hurry.
When you get into an argument and then get in the car.
When you have had too much to drink.
When you're joyriding.
All of these are how speed starts.
So next time, make a better choice.
Leave early so you can enjoy the ride.
Don't get in a car when you're angry. Take a walk instead.
And never get behind the wheel when you're intoxicated. Call a friend or a rideshare.
And remember, street racing is dangerous and deadly, so don't do it.
So slow down, RPV.
So slow down, RPV.
So slow down, RPV, and enjoy the ride.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Lomita Sheriff Station and RPV TV.
We are back for our 20th anniversary show, continuing with our own city manager, Ara Moranian. And Ara, we're so happy to have you here celebrating with us.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
But we're only 21, so
Yes,
I'm not.
yes.
I always say, I'm like, yeah, I was 10 years, 20 years, of which I've been here 28 years.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes.
amazing. Now, do you remember the first story that you did with Liz and with me?
So what I remember, my memory is very limited. These days, I can't remember what I did an hour
Yesterday,
ago.
yes.
But I'm gonna, and I may be wrong, but what stands out to me, there were two distinct interviews that I remember as what are my first, and that was either the Reef Project, that was when it was being introduced off the coast of Rancho, Palos, Verdes, and that was probably around 2016,
Okay.
2015, 2016, or it was a story on our peafowl trapping program. So I remember going to a house on Crest Ridge, and Liz, you were there. We had the cages and stuff.
Yes.
And yes.
So you're close. Actually, it seems that I remember you doing the peafowl story, our first story together. You were fantastic. I'm not saying you were nervous, but you just hit it out of the
I'm
park.
always nervous.
And
Not anymore.
yeah, no. And it was we did a thing on the peafowl management, and then followed by coyote management. But then Marie and I were talking, and she did a story before even we got together, and tell them what it was.
And so, do you remember the how to get a permit story, where we came over to the offices and we went through every person? In other words, like how a resident would come in and say, "Hi, I need to get a permit. What do I do?" So first we went to the first person and interviewed them.
Okay.
And we went all the way down the line.
I don't remember that.
Yes, and then they said, "Oh, you have to talk to Armoranian because you were the director, I believe, at the time of planning."
He was
that
an
right?
associate planner.
What year was this? Do you remember?
It was about 2010 or 11,
Right.
maybe.
I was the deputy director.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And you came out and you just said, "Okay, what do you want me to do?"
That's so me.
It was.
And as you've come a long
Yes.
way because you're our city manager,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
you know the channel now is 20 years in the city,
so hard
and of
to
course
believe.
you started participating as you were climbing up because
Yeah.
when we go and interview people, Maria and I in the city, we obviously do the heads of the department. So
Right.
eventually, because you were an associate planner, all of a sudden you made your way
Yes.
into the world of RPV
TV.
and now
In the world of
Yeah.
Yeah, you're here every week.
Yes, I
As the
know.
world of
I'm in front of the
RPV
camera all the time now.
Yes.
because of course we
I
see
think I have more footage than a lot of my friends who are actors and so
Yes,
forth. I'm
I
like,
think
I got
it's-
a more real time than you do.
Because of course RPV TV, one of the most important roles we do is we have city council meetings
Right.
that we show on RPV TV and on the government channel twice a month. You meet. We do your RPV TV update, so you let the community know just what's happening at these council meetings. I'm just curious, what do you see as the role of this studio?
No,
what we do?
you hit it right on the target. We do. The programming that comes out of RPV TV is tremendous. It's a conduit to our community where it enables people, and especially today with people's limited attention spans,
Right.
it gives them quick sound bites and the ability to hear what's going on, the current events that's occurring with the city with sound and visual. And I think that's what people are looking for today. People don't want to read things, they want to hear things, they want to see videos, they want to see things in very short and concise sound bites. And you guys, the programming that comes out of this station is incredible. I'm so proud of everything that you do, representing our city, our logo, and upholding our city's image and making sure the community knows what's going on. I mean, I was thinking, walking over here, RPV TV is at every community event.
Yes.
You are there to report out to the community. You're there to represent the city hall, and the stories you cover and the message that you tell help the community be proud of where they live.
And I think you brought up a good point too, is you talk about sound bites and people needing to hear things more succinctly. And we went live this year for the first time at Whale of the Day.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and even doing a lot of things that are going on social media now as well, with phones, with just different ways to get information out, because we are sort of growing with the technology.
changing times,
Exactly, yes.
And I was going to say that too, when this channel launched, not to confuse, we're not a news organization. We are an arm of the city to tell residents what's happening. What is the council working on for issues? What events are happening in our community? And also safety, like we help with public service announcement, with fire and police. We do a quarterly show with Lomita Sheriff Station, for example. But we're a way to communicate, another way for you to all communicate. And we feel the support of the council and your office, so we can't thank you enough for that, including this beautiful set we're
That
sitting
we
in.
love, absolutely love.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember coming in here saying, "Okay, it's time for a refresh,"
Yes.
and your reaction was, "Really?
Thank you.
Really? Thank you. We've been wanting to do it." I walked in here; it was red, dark inside, and I'm like, "This doesn't represent RPV," and I think it was 2 years ago that it was around the 50th anniversary,
It
wasn't it?
It was, and then after that, I remember that we did one of the anniversaries was Sakura City, our sister city in Japan.
We have so many anniversaries.
I know, we do.
It's like the
We
last
do
one.
have a lot. And we had that big background that we had used, and we had even brought it into the studio
Yes,
for a while.
yes.
We were like, we can't just keep using this one, even though it was
Yes.
so nice. But yeah, Carlos and I sat down, and we came to your office many times, and Liz got involved, and it was like, okay, what's the vision? How do we do this? And really, we created it from nothing. It was amazing.
You all, when I said I really want to do this, I think we have the budget to do it. I think it's important to uplift and change the image of RPV TV, the look of it, and just bring it to make it more relevant and modern and refreshed. And you and Carlos came and had all these samples, and we kind of worked things out, and you know me and my aesthetic taste and stuff, and I'm like going, well, I want something beachy, I want something this, and we got there. We landed on something, and I remember the unveiling. So thank you for all
We're
of
fortunate
that.
that you wear many hats. You're an amazing city manager. You also have the gift of interior decorating, and you have a
Very
great
much
eye,
so.
and we really appreciate that.
Don't tell that to my contract.
And something else that really was so important to Liz and I when we were talking about doing the show was the things that we've done that we're really proud of. And during COVID, I remember when I got a call and somebody said, you need to do a Zoom interview. And I was like, what's that? And we really didn't miss a beat. We worked almost right through COVID because remember we had a barrier up here for the mayor to sit on one side, and it was just so important. And you were such an important part of that because you were out in the community helping the residents, helping local businesses. How do they get back on track? And the first responders bringing food, keeping restaurants open.
Thank you. I'm getting goosebumps.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we were able to record all that on our
Yes,
PV
it
and
was
share it with the
amazing.
residents.
It was such a pivotal time,
Yeah.
and it was such you either rose above the challenges or you drowned, and we when we were facing and there was such uncertainty and such unknown at the time, I think we collectively it was Mayor John Cruikshank at the time, and we collectively said, what are we going to do to uplift and bring the community together and let the community know we're okay, we're together, we're resilient, we're going to get through this. And we started all these different programs, and you were so instrumental in helping us recover, heal, and let people know it's okay. We're going to be okay. And we started. I remember reaching out to John Cruikshank and saying, let's deliver meals. We had some funds, and we're like, let's thank our first responders, the hospital workers. And I remember we went to UCLA Harbor and we went to Torrance Memorial. We started dropping meals off, and in that whole meal program just kept growing, and we were doing it every week. And I think we did it for a few months. We went to the hospitals, the police station, the fire station, the sheriff's station, everybody you can think of. And it was such a good feeling. We wanted to help the businesses. So we bought, it was also part of helping the businesses. So we said, okay, let's buy meals to help the businesses survive during this very difficult time. And we were supporting our local businesses and thanking our local responders. It was such a moving. It was very, for me, who tends to lean on the emotional side. It was very moving, and I will never forget. And I'll never forget your role in it. So thank
and I think
you.
you were saying that's where the whole staff actually helped kind of came together and coined this term RPV together, which you do your city manager
use that
update,
today.
and we still say we are RPV together.
That's right.
And the only Peninsula city that has its own community television channel, which is amazing.
I'm so proud of it.
You know,
that tagline that we have, our RPV together / hashtag RPV together. We were promoting that. Do you remember we did? I think Maria, you were responsible with that. Play it forward, and we were like, pay it forward.
Yes,
and we were doing that as well, and seeing how we were helping people out with gift cards and.
And on the subject of helping people, I'd say one of my favorite stories I've done with you in recent years was the Run for Miles. And to see,
Yes.
again, the opportunity for our city to connect with the community and launch something that was so beneficial and helpful and important, and I think is it were we going on the third one now?
We're going on the third one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 50th anniversary was our first.
That's right.
So we did
It's
the
a
50th.
fundraiser.
It was that that Saturday morning was the first.
Yes.
10K, 5K, 10K race, Run for Miles, which has a very interesting story in and of itself. But then that night was our 50th anniversary banquet. So it was a full day. I remember.
So many things, and even talking about the landslide, you've been so transparent, coming on talking
Try to
about
be,
it.
yeah.
Town hall meetings that we
Yes.
film with RPV TV.
Absolutely.
A lot of difficult conversations that you covered, which helped the public stay informed.
You know, and it's interesting to do that balance. I mean, obviously, I would say I'm a resident here, so I wear many hats, and I care about our community just because I live here. And so, yes, we all deal with what's happening with the landslide, and it's heartbreaking. One person's house has been red tagged, or they didn't have utilities, affects us all.
Yeah.
But I think since most of our community is still doing okay, that we have to make sure that we talk about everything going on in our city.
Right.
And I remember being at the Winterfest, our holiday celebration, and 3 of my neighbors in Seaview, one who's in the Klondike Hanging Abatement District and is affected. I said, is it hard I feel bad, we're celebrating. She said, I need this.
Yeah.
I love that we are still as a city having these celebrations. You have to.
You covered, RPV TV covered the grand opening of Ladera Linda.
Oh, yes.
The community, and who would have known? I mean, when we were going through the entitlement process, we said Ladera Linda
For decades.
was going to be, well, it was a long time, but it well worth
yes.
it.
Right.
Very well worth it. But we were saying this is going to be the center or the heart for the east side of the city. It'll be an evacuation center. It was set up in that way, and who would have ever known months after we opened, or we did the grand opening, that it would be the hub and center location for all things related to the landslide. I mean, today it's hard to think where we were a year ago.
Right.
A year ago at this time. A year ago, July 2024, August 2024, Labor Day weekend 2024. That
Very
to me,
difficult time.
it will always, for the rest of my life, I will never forget what happened, because that was a very impactful, not only for the residents, but for me and what I had to carry. I think working with RPV TV, we were able to get in front of a lot of this and let the community know what's really going on. I think I always say, inquiring minds want to know. People want to know. That that slogan from I'm dating myself. I'm dating myself.
And it's Anderson Cooper, keeping them honest.
From those
Yeah.
Yes, you do that.
You have to. There's no way to do any. And I remember at the onset of all this, we said this: we're not gonna paint a different picture. We're gonna tell you what's going on and what is, and you need to know. And you may not like it, you may not want to hear it. It may be hard for all of us, but at least you know what's really happening.
And we're really the only peninsula city that's making sure that residents know what their government's doing.
Right.
Absolutely,
That's really important.
It's very helpful.
And
that's the program. Again, I say the programming that comes out of this community channel is so important. I know people watch the. It always surprises me because I'm at Trader Joe's or I'm somewhere and people stop me and say, "Hey, I saw you on TV." I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah, you were talking about this and this, or we saw this story, we saw this reel on social media." And I think what's been very interesting. I mean, 20 years. So you go back when you first started and how we communicated then versus how we communicate today. I think we touched on this earlier. It's critical that we are on the pulse of the changes in technology and we embrace it. I think we always embrace it. We're always, even now, we're having conversations at City Hall, and how do we change the formatting and the programming of getting messages across? Do we continue in written text? Do we try to do more sound bites and quick reels? You know, everyone loves those 30-second reels
That's right.
and stuff.
Well,
and
that's
so,
true.
Yeah, I mean,
and we're doing it
that's
now.
what we
We're all
do.
doing it,
We
yes.
do with your, you know, we after every city council meeting, we meet with he does a couple minute snippets and gives an overview of what did the council vote on, and you say in about a couple minutes, which was a 4-hour meeting.
Exactly.
I'm sort of like, what people are seeing in a 2-minute reel.
Right.
Yes.
Usually, how many takes do we have to do? And we should do some
you're-
blooper. We should do some. We should show the bloopers.
The blooper
because,
reel would be funny for all of us. Trust me.
How many times do I have to repeat myself? And yesterday, I couldn't even say the word prohibit. I was like stumbling on the word prohibit. I'm like,
But you know what's interesting as well is it's the schools, so many different, the Chamber of Commerce. We work with so many different
organizations.
Terranea and Trump National and all of the
the
businesses.
chamber. You're
Amazing.
always at all the chamber events,
Yeah,
which
they're
is so
amazing.
important because it's supporting our local businesses. You do that. And then you come to all of our city functions,
Right.
our anniversaries, our celebrations with Sakura City. You did just recently, we celebrated 5 years and you put together. And I think what people don't realize are, especially when we have the changing of the council and there's the rotation and the mayor steps down, the new mayor steps. RPV TV goes back. You have such an archive of all the things that have occurred in the past year and years back. You put together these reels and these clips that I'm just going, where did they find this footage? And you're part of archiving our history.
Right.
We
the
feel that
city's
way.
history.
We're definitely part of that. Whether
And
for
you
the
have all
landslide,
that.
we're out there. Wayfarers, you name it, we're there.
Everything.
The good and the bad.
Monique Sugimoto.
Oh my God! Yeah,
she's
Monique.
amazing.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
amazing.
And all these
Shout
things.
out to Monique.
Yeah,
and,
we love
our
her.
local
She really
historian.
helped with that, with the story
Yeah.
that we did about Sakura and our own Japanese history here. So there are really so many people that we've worked with hand in hand in the community. And as you talk about the 4 cities, 1 peninsula.
Yes.
You know?
The Mayor Bradley says that
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah.
And as we're saying all this, we are doing this with 4 part-time employees.
Yes.
How about that?
We're all crazy, but it's okay. We love our job.
We do.
But we say
We love it.
we at City Hall, and I hope the community appreciates it. I know the council does, and many of the staff, we all wear multiple hats.
Yes.
We do multiple
Absolutely.
things. I know we were talking about Emily and all the things that she does
Right.
and stuff. I mean, every department at City Hall does such an amazing job. And when you
do.
think about the size of our community, we have approximately 42,000 residents, something like 16,000 households. And when you look at how many staff we have, approximately 70, compared to the size of our community and what other cities have way more staff. We run a tight ship and we work really hard but the community and the council supports us, and I think that incentivizes us, and it applies the same thing with RPV TV,
I mean,
the things that you do.
Where would we be without the Rec and Parks team and all these
Oh, we
departments?
love them.
Public Works, we're out there with Ramsey,
Yes.
and David. They're doing Public Works. I mean, we all
Right in the epicenter of some of
we
these
all help
issues.
each other.
Sometimes you guys are out in the middle of traffic and recording and doing a reel, and I'm like, that does not look safe. Don't show that to our risk
well, we
manager.
had to show the beautification.
Yes, I remember.
Western Avenue, all of it.
Everything that you have covered, all the stories for over the years, and we are so appreciative of everything
you.
that RPV TV does. I mean, I can reflect on just my experiences with, especially as city manager. I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, I feel like I'm always speaking. I'm always publicly speaking, and I'm in front of a camera often, and but we're telling a story. We're sharing information, and we're covering events, and we do Rancho Palos Verdes. We have a lot of great events. We have the fall harvest. We have the
4th of July.
the 4th of Oh my God,
And
the 4th of July.
you didn't realize all
Day.
along we've been training you, Ara, for the big, you've been interviewed by the worldwide press.
Yes,
because
of course.
obviously, whether it was a landslide, whether it's having Trump National here, we have the whole world's eyes on us because also we're the most beautiful place in the world to live.
This is true.
Paradise.
But you are
true.
like, you're out there with all the the top reporters interviewing you. You've done a fantastic job. Wall Street Journal, you name it, right?
Would have ever known? No,
Yeah, you
And
were
thank
ready.
you for always making time for us. We do appreciate
Yes,
it.
No,
yes.
and thank you
Absolutely.
for covering the state of the city. Thank you for covering. You do the mayor's monthly report.
Yes.
That is so important, where the mayor can get in front of the community and share what's going on in the city. So that's all
absolutely.
the programming that you offer.
All right.
Right.
The celebration continues.
It does continue right here at RPV TV. We're going to celebrate with a little sparkling cider. Okay.
It is, so
Because
the
there's-
audience knows it's
sparkling-
Martinelli's.
Yeah, we
We
don't-
just
sparkling
opened
cider.
it.
That's right.
We are not drinking on the job.
No,
we're
we're
not. And this is going to be 20 years of RPV TV. We wanted to take a moment to thank all of you, our community. Thank you so much for watching us, supporting us, giving us ideas sometimes of what you'd like to see.
And remember, we are RPV together.